Hey, Dad, this was interesting. We actually got a question from a fellow HVAC technician. And he said that a customer wants him to move their air conditioning unit outside about 10 feet to the right, but they don't want him to go into the wall, which would mean he'd have to run a much longer electrical whip to the unit and also extend the thermostat wire and refrigerant lines. He says, my main concern is extending thermostat wire. I don't want to wire nut things. I don't know what that means, but I don't want to wire nut things. What do you think?
Well, so we came outside, showed you my air conditioner. What would we do if we wanted to move it 10 feet to the right? I believe what they're saying is you can't go into the house. It's finished off, you know. There's no way you can go 10 feet down into a joist space. This is the joist space inside the house. What I would do typically, depending on your local codes, you know, that disconnect needs to be closer to the unit anyway. What I do is I take this all apart and make this a junction box. Now you are using wire nuts, you know, so I don't know if he's you know, not wanting to use wire nuts, but I turn this into a junction box, and so I take the guts out of it, so no one is ever going to be confused and think, oh, this is a disconnect, I'm going to kill the circuit or something. You know, I want people to know that this is not a disconnect any longer. Use it, and now I'm going to run, typically if that far, I'm going to run conduit, rigid conduit, straight, so I can now lay rigid conduit on the house. It's nice and straight. Once it gets painted, you don't even see it. Do the same thing with the refrigerant lines. Of course, they're going to, obviously in this case, they'd be down lower, but I would run this straight down to where it needs to be and terminate it, you know, right here where the new air conditioner is. And you can run the refrigerant lines, and I'd typically try and tuck it along a architectural feature like this, so you can eventually paint it all, and it all kind of disappears once it's monochromatic like that with the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. It's really an art form, Dad. If you ask me, that's what it sounds like.
You have to be creative sometimes.
Okay.
But see, there are times if you can get inside, you'll see people run the refrigerant lines on the outside of the house like this, where they didn't think that they could drill a hole in the house and run the new refrigerant lines, and you make it look much cleaner on the outside. They don't think about that, you know. And in most cases, it's easier. You end up with a cleaner look as well, you know, running it through the inside. But if you're careful, take a little extra time, make things nice and straight, you can make that look just fine.
Okay, thanks, Dad.